Once, in the murky shadows of an aging metropolis, there was a case that would make the most hardened of police detectives question every shadow they crossed. Our story begins in a modest dwelling, the kind where secrets stack like old newspapers in the corner of a cluttered room. In the heart of the city lay a quaint, unassuming bookstore, its shelves heavy with the wisdom of the ages. The proprietor, Samuel Donovan, a man of middling years and profound silence, bore the kind of countenance that belied his true past. Unbeknownst to the world, his genteel demeanor was nothing more than a clever disguise. Leaving a flurry of paperwork caught in the wake of her sharp, determined stride, Detective Hawke arrived at the scene with the brusqueness of a winter gale. The bookstore, which had seemed such a sanctuary to the lost and the weary, was now cordoned off with yellow tape, a testament to the wickedness that man could conceal behind a facade of normalcy. Inside, Samuel Donovan lay slumped over a desecrated copy of Dante's Inferno, the irony of his life seeping into the fibers of the blood-soaked pages. The establishment, once a home for thought and discourse, had become the chilling tableau of his untimely demise. Unnoticed and leave without bringing attention to their dark deed. The truth was a puzzle, every piece mired in shadow, every connection eluding her grasp like smoke. She questioned the witnesses, each interview meticulous and thorough, yet yielding nothing but layers of ambiguity. Statements were a blend of fact and fiction, tangled in the human tendency to see things not as they were but as one wished them to be. Donovan's ledger, meticulously hidden in a hollowed-out copy of War and Peace, spoke of sums that could tempt saints and resurrect old demons. Transactions linked to every corner of the city, an intricate web of deceit woven by a man whose mundane exterior was his greatest ruse. The break in the case came from an unlikely source, a whisper of silk and perfume that graced Hawke's office one balmy evening. Isabella Morozov, the only daughter of the very syndicate that Donovan had entwined his fate with, stood before the detective, her countenance etched with sorrow and secrets. "Detective Hawke," she began, her voice barely above a hush, yet vibrant with unspoken urgency. "My father, he never forgave Samuel for leaving the family business. I tried to protect him." With her words, the tale unfurled, one of love and betrayal, of Donovan's fruitless endeavor to sever the skeins that bound him to his nefarious beginnings. It transpired that Isabella and Samuel had conspired to err. "Why come forward now, Ms. Morozov?" asked Hawke, the weight of skepticism heavy in her gaze. "Because the longer I remain silent, the more blood will stain this city's hands," Isabella replied, her dark eyes shimmering with a mix of fear and determination. In the waning gloom of her story, a new dawn arose on the investigation. Isabella handed over a key piece of evidence, a letter penned by a rival syndicate member, a death warrant veiled in the poetry of threats and retribution. Through her testimony and the unfolding evidence, the sordid web of the bookstore murder began to unravel. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Hawke and her team launched into a fevered pursuit of justice. Doors long closed to the law were torn open, revealing the viscera of the city's underworld. The investigation was a surgeon's blade, cutting through the infection to reveal the truth. In the end, it was not the bullet or the blade that felled Donovan's shadowed assassin, but the very web of lies and deceit he had helped to weave. Cornered in the very bookstore where his crime had been birthed, he met the justice he so richly deserved. The story became a legend whispered in the corners where the light feared to tread. And through it all, Detective Elizabeth Hawke stood as the city's sentinel, her name written indelibly in the annals of its darkest annals, a testament to the truth that even in the heart of darkness, justice would find its way. As the pages of this tale close, remember, dear reader, that within the bindings of every story lies a truth far stranger than fiction, a reminder that the monsters we fear may often be hidden behind the most unassuming covers. See his sordid history and start anew. But fate, it seemed, harbored other plans.